No heroics into Sandoval, please.
Cheers, Jeff.
Hey guys, it's James here and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode series. We are here for the finale, the final ever episode of JNS Racing. If you did miss the last episode in Brazil, make sure to go check that one out. We had an accident and we crashed out on lap number 20. That's why there's a DNF up there. But yeah, this is the last ever episode. We've taken 6 wins this season, 12 wins in our career so far. I wonder if we can take another win in Abu Dhabi. The only thing I'm a bit worried about is the durability of our control electronics. That could be the only thing stopping us from doing well here in Abu Dhabi. But this is the finale. We've sealed the driver's title. We've sealed the constructor's title.
Okay. We've had the new parts
and the car is virtually maxed out as well. The control electronics durability upgrade is here, meaning that hopefully it's going to last. You see, the regulations would change for next season. Sadly, we can't force this upgrade through before the end of the season, so we're just going to leave it. And a virtually maxed out JNS racing car is going to take us towards qualifying for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So here we are then for qualifying for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And of course, we've got a failure. Why would it be JNS Racing without a failure? We've had many failures in qualifying before, so this is no real new news. We're going to take all the fuel out of the car, 3-6 wings, the golden setup, which has carried us through many times in this series. And now we come on to our final qualifying lap, currently sitting behind the 2 Mercedes cars for our final lap, Hamilton and Bottas. Obviously, Bottas, the Season 1 champion, Hamilton, the Season 2 champion, as we got held up by Nicholas Latifi on one of our previous runs, and so it's been a good first sector. 2 tenths quicker than Hamilton's first sector, but the middle sector is really where we've lost a lot of time, and so we've gained a huge amount of time through the hairpin. We couldn't get the car slowed down on our previous run, and so this is going to be a fascinating battle for pole. I have saved a set of soft tyres for the Grand Prix, so we will have 2 new sets of soft tyres for the race as we go a little bit over the white line on the straight, but it's on the straight, so it doesn't matter. Nothing doing as we head through that first chicane onto the second very long straight. We're almost 4 tenths up in what has been a pretty good lap. The sun is setting in the final qualifying session of JNS Racing. It's been another good lap, 3 tenths quicker than Lewis Hamilton's time, but you see the final sector is where we lose a lot of time because we are running quite low downforce, which will mean we've got good overtaking chances in the Grand Prix. Max Verstappen goes up to second on the grid as Lewis Hamilton is still very much top as we go through. We're down in P5 now, so someone has obviously put in a good lap ahead as well, but we're half a second up heading towards the final 2 corners. This first corner, we lose a little bit of time. Didn't quite open it up as much as we possibly could have done. Now to the final corner though. Can we go to get a good exit? Where does it put us? We come across the line in our final qualifying session. It is pole position for our final ever Grand Prix. That must have been extremely close. And yes, it was. 2/100ths has put us ahead of Lewis Hamilton. But these are the fine margins that have made us champion this season.
It's the final chapter of the season then here at the spectacular Yas Marina circuit. Let's talk about James. What a season they've had. A well-deserved championship victory and the pressure now surely off with the title already in the bag.
It really is well-deserved. I wouldn't say it's been a faultless title challenge, but certainly one that has been consistent and well-managed. Here's hoping they let off a bit of steam today and give us an exciting race.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. James lines up on pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Bottas, Charles Leclerc, and Kvyat, Sainz, Vettel, Schumacher. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Lando Norris, Albon, Perez, Lance Stroll, and Russell, Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Esteban Ocon, and Guan Yu Zhou, Grosjean, De Vries, Gasly, and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
So here we are then for the final time ever on the grid for the start of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Looking at the setup, we're going to do a 2-stop. The game wants me to do a 3-stop. We're doing a 100% race for you guys because it is the final ever one. But we're going to go to 5 red lights for the start of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The lights are off and so are we. It is showtime here at Yas Marina. It's been a good start from pole position as we head towards turn 1. It's been a short run as the sun is setting here in Yas Marina. And we have kept the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix from Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas. Mick picking up an unfortunate grid penalty, meaning he has dropped down the field quite considerably down to 9th place. So hopefully he can fight his way back up as we've got 55 laps of the Yas Marina circuit to do some damage around here and hopefully win the Grand Prix as we get another look at the start of our final ever Grand Prix. It's been a good launch. We've had many good starts. A good start in Azerbaijan in Season 2 and a good start in Russia from 4th on the grid in Season 2 are the most memorable ones as Hamilton and Verstappen a bit caught up through turn 1, scrapping away with each other, giving us a clear run down towards the braking zone of turns 4 and 5 before the hairpin, as well as we were going quite nicely through there with quite a big gap. And at the end of lap 1, Lewis Hamilton keeping us honest, 9 tenths behind as we set, of course, the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Our previous best finish in Abu Dhabi, we've had 2 third places. We spun out of the lead in Abu Dhabi last time and managed to fight our way back up to 3rd place. And in Season 1, it was the place where we took, of course, our first ever podium. And now on lap number 2, we've gapped Hamilton a little bit. We put the foot down really and trying to attack these soft tyres because these soft tyres seem to be holding up quite nicely. Obviously, it's the early stages of the Grand Prix with a lot of fuel, but with 55 laps of the Yas Marina circuit, the soft tyre normally on this game in 100% races is pretty good in terms of long runs, especially with the ultimate tyre wear upgrade that we have on the car at the moment, which is extremely powerful and extremely important. Lap number 6, 2.3 seconds is the gap to Lewis Hamilton. Nothing has really happened except he's been keeping us honest. We've been putting in some decently consistent lap times around the 1:37.0 mark. And so Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas have just been keeping us quite honest. But we are still very much in control of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix as we look to seal episode number 60 in style. It has been a very well-judged title campaign. We've taken 6 wins from the 15 rounds so far this season, looking to take our 7th win. And we've had many podiums in our career, 1 in Season 1, then multiple in Seasons 2 and 3. As the pit window is open on lap number 12 now, and everyone has come in at the end of lap 11, which means we could be a little bit vulnerable to the undercut from Lewis Hamilton as he straps on a fresh set of the soft compound tyres, meaning I think he's going to do a 3-stop strategy, which is an interesting call considering the fact that I think the 2-stop will go faster. I'm going to try and run these mediums for quite a long time in this Grand Prix before then putting on a set of the soft compound tyres and just really enjoying this JNS racing car because it is virtually maxed out in our final ever Grand Prix, and so we will never have a car as quick as this, especially on the new game, with the fact that, you know, the teams and the cars are that much slower, and basically this is a maxed out car. As we come out behind Lando Norris, who has started on the medium tyres, do we come out ahead of Lewis Hamilton? Yes, we do, as he's been held up by Lance Stroll quite considerably, and so we need to try and get past Lando Norris as quickly as we possibly can, and so gap ourselves a bit from Lewis Hamilton. I was a bit concerned about the undercut from Hamilton, but nothing seems to be doing as we're going to look to get past Lando Norris. He started on the mediums, meaning a 2-stop is extremely viable for him, as Hamilton and Verstappen really struggling to get past Lance Stroll, who seems to be a bit of a nuisance here on lap 13 as the sun sets on another season in JNS Racing's My Team career mode. It's been a really good career mode. We've had some highs. I'd say the win in Singapore and also clinching the championship has been the biggest high. As now Lando Norris has had a big exit and the big moments on the exit of the first chicane, and now we're in the slipstream using Rich Mix DRS and overtake. He holds the inside line, so we go to the outside purple middle sectors. We try and swoop around the outside of our fellow Brit, and yes, we've got past Lando Norris and we are up into 2nd place. But of course, this is the net race leader. Sebastian Vettel is yet to get rid of his worn soft tyres, and so obviously Ferrari are quite disappointing in this career mode. They haven't really made huge marks with their car. One team that's really impressed me as we set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix has been Renault. they've had a few wins in this JNS Racing. It's been Esteban Ocon really leading the line for them. They had Daniel Ricciardo as his teammate for the first 2 seasons before Daniel Ricciardo came to JNS Racing, then bailed out of a contract mid-season, which was pretty fascinating stuff. That meant that basically the driver's title was virtually secured, as Hamilton still can't get past Lando Norris. You see the gap is just going up and up. He's finally got past him here on lap 20. That's cost him about 9 seconds, and the fact he's making an extra pit stop as well will have really harmed his chances to get past us in this race. It just all depends on really how this medium compound of tyre holds up. At the moment, it's only about 8 or 9 laps old, and it's been holding up pretty nicely. We've been putting in some good lap times. You see, we've set personal bests in the clear air. Coming up to our first set of lap cars, AlphaTauri have been a team that have disappointed me quite a lot. They made some good strides in Season 1, and at the end of Season 2, they were pretty quick. I remember Danny Kvyat putting in some great performances. But now in Season 3, they've been miles off the pace. Guan Yu Zhou, we're coming up to lap him, our teammate from Season 1. He didn't really have many standout performances, except I'd say in Russia. In Season 1, he was pretty handy. And then in Brazil, he outqualified us, I think. So there were glimpses of some real pace, but in that Williams car, he's not going to have much of an opportunity to score points. As we set a purple middle sector, thanks to the slipstream from both Gasly and Guan Yu Zhou there. We're almost at the halfway distance in this Grand Prix. You can see the light is starting to fade. And now on lap number 27, Mick Schumacher in second place from 9th on the grid. But he's coming into the pits for his first set of the medium compound tyre. Again, all the AI doing 3 stops, except those who started on the medium tyres, in which case they'll be doing 2 stops. So that is Norris and Stroll. We come up to lap 2 Alfa Romeo cars. On lap number 28, the gap to Hamilton 35 seconds. But these medium tyres starting to go off a little bit. We're still producing some good lap times. I reckon we'll try and go to about lap number 40, I think, as a Haas car comes out of the pits, just ahead of the 2 Alfa Romeos. At the moment, we're on for a Grand Slam. Pole, fastest lap, although we haven't actually got it yet. We're not on for a Grand Slam. We need to get these soft tyres on lap number 40, and then nobody else will be on soft. So hopefully with our pace, we'll get the Grand Slam. But pole, fastest lap, led all laps, and the win, so leading all 55 laps. We have not come across the line once yet where we haven't been leading. So Lando Norris was in the lead for about half a sector, but of course we got past him on our outlap, meaning that we kept the lead for all 55 laps. The gap has come down somewhat. These medium tyres start to go off with Lewis Hamilton. The gap was 35 a couple of laps ago. It's now 33.0 as George Russell has got past, been lapped, sorry. We have lapped George Russell, our teammate from Season 2, who won here in Abu Dhabi last time out. The gap with Hamilton coming down quite consistently. He has been putting in some decent lap times, and we've been struggling a bit on these medium tyres. So not perhaps indicating that the 3-stop is better as we lap another of the Haas cars. But perhaps the fact that, you know, they can push that much more on these tyres. Our control electronics are going off as well. But it is only orange, as you can see, that little engine marker on the MFD board. It's nothing too serious, as we're now just 29.2 seconds ahead of Hamilton. Hamilton has been going slowly, though. Valtteri Bottas has got past him, and Hamilton is out the session. That is so disappointing. The Brit has had a miserable season this season, and that is just a sucker punch to him, as he's about down in 6th or 7th in the standings. He's had a miserable title defence campaign. And now on lap number 34, we're heading up to the place where Lewis Hamilton has his stricken car. Mick Schumacher up in 5th place on a fresh set of the soft compound of tyre, so he'll be looking to fly through the field to see Lewis Hamilton's stricken Mercedes car on that right-hand side. This has been a season to forget for the Brit. But still, he's been trying his very hardest in that Mercedes car, and he was the Season 2 World Champion as well. Valtteri Bottas clinching the Season 1 World Championship by only the barest of margins, I think just a couple of points. As now on lap number 39, we might be looking to pit again, because Valtteri Bottas with some seriously quick lap times as coming up to lap Sergio Perez. He's tried to lunge it back down the inside of turn number 8, which is an interesting one, considering he has been lapped. I don't know, he's trying to get past us. We're not fighting with Sergio Perez. I'm sure we've had some battles with him in the past. He was, of course, at Racing Point until Season 3, and now on lap number 40, the gap to Bottas 22 seconds as he's been eating into our advantage. But it's time for a fresh set of the soft compound tyres and just really enjoy these last 15 laps or so in the JNS racing car, because it is, unless you've been copying every single upgrade that I've made on the car in the exact order that I've been upgrading it, you know, there is no car like it. We've upgraded it in a very certain manner, you know, prioritising aerodynamics, prioritising the chassis, The engine power just came with Renault's upgrades. Renault have been a loyal provider to us, and they've taken us to this World Championship. Bottas has in fact followed us into the pit lane. And so meaning, again, no threat of our Grand Slam going out the window as we're doing extremely well. But it's now just time to enjoy our final set of running in this car under the lights in the nighttime here in Abu Dhabi as we set our fastest ever final sector so far in this Grand Prix. I'm going to take you through this lap totally through the entirety of this lap. It's been a pretty good run, as you see Nick De Vries just coming out of the pits there, but we lap him with no problems. We have been imperious this season. A purple final sector by 0.370, which is a pretty good first sector. Obviously, we might have been held up a little bit by De Vries, not quite being able to go as wide as we possibly wanted to. Max Verstappen with a 1:34.1 on his fastest lap. We'll see if we can take that back, as we have kept the fastest first sector of anybody at this stage in the Grand Prix, with just a few laps to go. Now we're on lap number 42 of 55. That overtake on Norris basically sealed the deal, because the AI lost so much time behind him, struggling to get past. It took Lewis Hamilton about 8 or 9 laps, and in that time we were just able to break away and essentially seal the race win, and that was compounded when Hamilton had to retire at this very corner earlier on in the Grand Prix. 1.1 seconds quicker than any time that we've done previously, and we should obliterate Max Verstappen's time. His was a 1:34.1. If we can hook up this final sector, we should be absolutely fine in beating that. Under no real threat from Valtteri Bottas. This just looks like another race win that's going to be sealed. It'll be our 7th this season, so we'll have won almost half the races this season, with Esteban Ocon winning one at Silverstone, Daniel Ricciardo winning in Monaco, Mick Schumacher won in both Brazil and in Italy. He was fantastic at Monza. He really showed his strength. Carlos Sainz winning at Zandvoort was the big shock for me this season. On lap number 48, the gap is 28 seconds to Bottas. We have absolutely flown around this circuit. There is no problems. This has been perhaps even more dominant than our win in Singapore, but we're just going to enjoy this car absolutely flying around the Yas Marina circuit for our final ever few laps in this JNS racing car, with a purple final sector as well. The gap to Bottas, 29.0 seconds. We will seal the deal here in Abu Dhabi. Lap number 54 then. The engine is getting quite warm, but we're just going to reminisce on what has been a fantastic career mode series. You know, we started with an 8th place in Australia, picking up 4 points before a spin in Bahrain. Gave us a bit of a reality check, and then we missed out in Vietnam. The next time out there was rain, there were safety cars, but we missed out on some points there quite frustratingly. China, the Netherlands, Spain, Monaco, all pointless. We really struggled at the start of our JNS racing career before we hooked it up through the middle of the season with 10 points in Azerbaijan thanks to a safety car, and then we were extremely quick around Canada, picking up 9th place in a car that really doesn't deserve to be in 9th place, and qualified 6th for that event. France, we did a fantastic one-stop strategy when everyone else was doing 2 stops, and so we picked up 5th place. And then in the rain in Austria, again, we were meticulous around there, picking up 5th place. And then we went on another dry run between Silverstone, Hungary, Monza and Spa. Didn't pick up any points whatsoever. Then Singapore and Russia, we picked up back-to-back points. Had a big accident in Japan, points in America, fantastic race in Mexico, a last lap thriller. 11th place in Brazil, missing out on points because we misjudged an overtake on Esteban Ocon. And then a first podium in the Season 1 finale. And as we head on to our final lap for JNS Racing, we had a new era for JNS Racing, a podium in Bahrain, a 2nd place finish before another seriously dry spell that lasted up until a podium in Azerbaijan, which was fantastic. Our first win came 31 races into this series in Canada. 2nd place in France after a big lap 1 accident. We were 3 wide across the line in Austria, but we managed to take the win there. And then we took a fantastic win in Singapore after heartbreak of Spa in Season 2. A win in Austria thanks to a win in Russia, thanks to a brilliant launch at the start. A win in the United States, a win in Mexico, 2nd place in Brazil, and then 3rd place in Abu Dhabi. Ended the season quite nicely as we've got 1 more sector in this JNS racing car. 2nd in Bahrain, 2nd at Zandvoort, 6th in Monaco, a win in Baku, 3rd place in Canada, a win in Austria, 9th at Silverstone, a win in Hungary, third place at Spa, second place at Monza, a win in Singapore, not a win in Japan, 11th place in Japan. And then we have been absolutely fantastic. When we sealed the title in Austin, we've got one more corner in the JNS racing car as we complete the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The pyrotechnics go off for James JNS, who caps off his Formula 1 career in style with a Grand Slam. Doing some donuts on the pit straight for good measure. What a season it's been. What a championship he's won. JNS Racing Constructors and Drivers title winners. We do some donuts in front of the fans here in Abu Dhabi in what has been a fantastic season. A fantastic series. We took our first ever trophy home here from Abu Dhabi in Season 1. We've taken our final ever trophy home here in Abu Dhabi one more time. What a fantastic season it's been. What a series it's been. It's been 3 fantastic seasons. 29 seconds was the gap to Mick Schumacher. In the end, pole, fastest lap, win, led all the laps. We won the championship by over 105 points. We've won the Constructors by miles. We have been on fire. 205 points was the gap between myself and my team and Red Bull Racing. But that was the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Wow, just like that, it's all over. This isn't goodbye from me on YouTube at all. I'm going to take a couple of weeks off and then I will be back, of course, in the summer when F1 2021 comes out. Of course, I've got some big plans for that, but it is goodbye for now. It has been a fantastic series. Make sure to go back and rewatch old episodes. It's been an emotional roller coaster, I think it's fair to say, with some highs, some lows, and everything in between. And it's been a series to remember. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who's watched any episode, you know, liked, subscribed, anything like that. And just like that, this series is over. Thank you and goodbye.